there's no one for miles around. My head can't stop spinning, so I turn the radio on. And I heard a song through the static. I'm on my way. There's light in the distance, and all I can do is keep driving. Mistakes that I made fade in the mirror behind me. And there was a scar, but I shed my skin. It tore me apart so I could begin. So I could begin. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. My fortune is starting to change. I see it, I feel it, I'm on my way.
Good evening, and thank you to Distant Cousins, our special entertainment tonight. My name is Courtney Meisel, and I'll be your host. Tonight, you'll hear from members of our community who are linked in Sharsheret's chain of support. Then we'll top off the evening with another set from Distant Cousins. But first, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about why you're here?
My name is David.
I'm Dove.
Hey, I'm Ami. We're Distant Cousins, and we're just grateful to be here. It's an honor to play for Sharsheret, and we're really supportive of the wonderful work that you do.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, and we are so lucky that we are all here together.
Sharsheret means family.
Sharsheret means saving lives.
Sharsheret means trust.
Sharsheret means support.
Sharsheret is a blessing.
Sharsheret means connection.
Sharsheret means knowledge.
Sharsheret means support.
Sharsheret means compassion.
It means education.
It means empowerment.
It means encouragement.
It means hope.
It means connection.
It means compassion.
It means comfort.
Sharsheret is sisterhood.
People that are caring.
Sharsheret means support.
It means hope.
Love means community.
Means support.
When I needed it, Sharsheret was there for me and for my family.
Sharsheret is where I go to feel normal again.
Sharsheret is a place where women and their families can get the help that they need.
These are very strange times. The one thing I have found is Sharsheret is the one place one can go to. All are welcome and no one is turned away.
Sharsheret means you're never alone.
Sharsheret brings families together.
Sharsheret provides support beyond resources and educational materials. Sharsheret connects you with someone whom you can trust, someone who you can address your deep-seated fears and questions, or someone that you can turn to just simply for reassurance and support.
What does Sharsheret mean to you?
Don't forget to take photos and tag us on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Sharsheret1 on Instagram and at Sharsheret on Facebook. Tonight, while we are all separate, we are part of the Sharsheret, the chain of support, and our Sharsheret is stronger than ever. While we're celebrating separately in our homes, this evening's event unites us in support of an organization that is critical in our community. When I was 36 years old, with a 3- and 4-year-old, I was diagnosed with stage 2B breast cancer. I underwent a double mastectomy, chemotherapy, and radiation. To this day, my children recall that Sharsheret was there for all 3 of us. Especially memorable was the Busy Box. It was full of games and activities customized for their ages and intended to give us something to do together when I wasn't able to get out of bed. During my recovery, I heard Sharsheret's founder, Rochelle Shoretz, who is herself facing advanced breast cancer, speak at an event. After, I approached Rochelle and told her how much the Busy Box meant to my family. The rest is history. I am so grateful to be a part of the Sharsheret chain that Rochelle was the first link in. I know she would be especially proud of all that we've accomplished here in California. This past March, I wasn't feeling well and ended up getting a COVID test that turned out to be positive. Aside from feeling physically unwell, I felt anxious and scared about my diagnosis. My heart and thoughts immediately went to the women who were in treatment. I could only imagine what it must be like to have to distance even from immediate family, deal with delayed surgeries, and manage fears of contracting COVID. Sharsheret saw this need and was quick to respond. Sharsheret was and is here for these women and their families to help them navigate an environment where everyone is scared. Again, I am so proud to be a part of this Sharsheret, this unbelievable chain, and of the fact that together we are stronger than ever. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Abby Hertz and Sari Abrams, the co-chairs of the California Community Advisory Committee.
Sari, do you remember when we met last January to plan for Sharsheret's 4th year of programming in California? Could you ever imagine that this is where we would be today?
No, Abby, I couldn't have imagined it. But what's amazing about Sharsheret is that despite the COVID crisis, Sharsheret services have remained a constant and essential source of support for hundreds of families in California.
Especially during this pandemic, Sharsheret's work generates hope and comfort and dignity. We're on the front lines of the mental challenges faced by an extremely vulnerable population.
Our California office is taking the lead, launching new initiatives to address the ever-changing cancer landscape, even in the midst of this crisis.
Yes, and we're expanding our community health education messaging to be more inclusive of men and the full range of genetic mutations associated with breast and ovarian cancer.
Last week, we launched Sharsheret in the Kitchen, a program where nutrition experts will teach families at high risk, in treatment, and in survivorship how to prepare healthy meals.
Sharsheret's educational programming, normally offered in person to hundreds of schools and synagogues and community groups across the state of California, has pivoted to virtual education programs. Sharsheret's Pink Challah Bakes, community panels, and virtual fitness classes are more essential to saving lives than ever before.
Having gone through breast cancer twice myself, I still can't imagine what it must be like for women to experience treatment right now. Picture having to go to your chemotherapy appointment completely alone.
To our wonderful volunteers across the state, to our event committee for tonight, and especially to Chair Kathy Barnhart, And to everyone who's participating in our Twilight picnic, thank you for supporting Sharsheret. Your dollars are more critical than ever because of the elevated need of women and families we serve. We can't do this without you.
In these times, Sharsheret's chain is stronger than ever.
Next, we're going to hear two stories from Sharsheret's chain of support. Stories of resilience and survivorship from women in our Sharsheret community. First, you'll hear from Molly, whose life-changing diagnosis of ovarian cancer and connection with Sharsheret led her in a path she couldn't have envisioned. Then you'll hear from another Molly, yes, both of our speakers are named Molly, whose life was forever changed when she was introduced to Sharsheret.
Hi, my name is Molly. My life changed when I was diagnosed with a rare pediatric ovarian cancer at age 21. I had just graduated from college and was on my way to graduate school in Israel to pursue a master's degree in Jewish education. My plans were quickly thwarted and my life changed in an instant. Through the thick and thin, the constant and the inconsistent, there was one thing that remained the same: the support of Sharsheret. I called Sharsheret soon after my diagnosis and was connected with a social worker and peer supporter, both of whom were essential in my emotional support system. My diagnosis was a surprise for several reasons, including my age at diagnosis, the rarity of my diagnosis, and the fact that there is not a genetic predisposition to this type of ovarian cancer. My Sharsheret social worker, Sharon, was the person I could call to process new medical information as well as changes as a result of treatment. I knew that I could trust her and that I was not being judged. Sharsheret matched me with a peer supporter who had been diagnosed with the same condition at around the same age and could provide me with hands-on guidance and support that no one else could. Her support made me feel seen and heard. I was so inspired by my social worker and the work of Sharsheret that after I finished my treatment and was in remission, I decided to apply for graduate programs for a master's in social work. It is now 2 years since I graduated and 5 years since I was diagnosed and treated. I am working as a social worker in medical genetics at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, providing emotional support and counseling to patients diagnosed with genetic conditions as well as their families. I love that I get to do this every day, and I credit this passion and inspiration to Sharsheret. Most importantly, today, 5 years later, I am completely healthy and cancer-free. Baruch Hashem, thank God. Cancer is something that happened to me and something that inspired and informed my life, but not the thing that defines it.
Thank you so much for that story, Molly. Your story is especially moving to me. I have someone really close to me who has a very similar story. What I personally witnessed in our family is that Sharsheret provided sort of a link between everybody's stories, and especially when times when we feel alone, it's so important to be reminded that our stories are all connected and that through telling our stories, we find the connection between each other. So thank you to Sharsheret for helping our family through a difficult time, and we want to share this next song, and it's called Your Story. 1, 2, 1. Beautiful, half unseen, all alone inside a room behind the screen, with your makeup on, 'cause you don't belong inside the circles and the packs that they are forming. Ooh,
Your story waits for you. Ooh, waiting to come true. Romeo loves the chase. You've been hurt before, but no one sees the bruises. Mama's boy with a heart of stone. The writing's on the wall if you're still listening. Ooh, your story waits for you. Ooh, waiting to come true. See it through. Time, no one else can speak your truth. It's an empty page on New Year's Day. The writing's on the wall if you're still listening. Time, only you can see it through. Give me some time. No one else can speak your truth. Your story waits for you. Ooh, your story waits for you.
Please welcome our second survivor speaker, Molly.
Hi, I'm Molly, and Sharsheret has played an unexpected and life-changing role in my life. My family has an extensive history of cancer. Both sides, all kinds. At the age of 23, I discovered I was BRCA2 positive, passed down through my dad's side of the family. Not mentally prepared to deal with the heaviness of this discovery, I ignored it for the next 7 years. When I turned 30, I pushed myself to see a specialist who put me on an aggressive surveillance. Yearly mammograms, MRIs, ultrasounds, blood tests, and doctor's checks were still so much to handle, so I was still pretty loose about it. Now, I don't know if you believe in signs, I certainly didn't, but for long years after sort of taking my surveillance seriously, I learned at work that Sharsheret was moving into our office space. When I discovered what Sharsheret did, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, I will pay attention. Shy and nervous, I knocked on their door. Hi, I'm Molly. I'm pretty sure you help with the thing that I got. A day that will forever change my life. I immediately started feeling better once I opened up to Jenna and Amy at Sharsheret. I was connected with their genetic counselor and soon became a peer supporter. They introduced me to a woman who lives in New York, and it was the first time I spoke with someone with the exact same story as mine. I now had a friend who was doing this with me. Sharsheret made me feel informed, but what they really did was built my confidence to make the decision that had been weighing on me for almost 15 years. Just this last November, I decided to undergo a life-saving prophylactic double mastectomy with reconstruction, taking my known personal lifetime risk for breast cancer from 93% to under 2%. I'm not gonna lie, every step from decision to surgery to recovery to today was hard, really hard. But literally, every step of the way, Sharsheret was there for me. They listened to my fears, allowed me to cry, and helped me always walk out the door feeling strong. The hardest day of my journey came exactly 1 week after my surgery. It was the day I had my bandages removed and the first time I saw my new body. I was feeling good. My mom was helping tend to my wounds. Then all of a sudden, I was not okay. I couldn't catch my breath. I fell to the floor. I was in pain, crying, and breathless. My parents stood over me, frightened and uncertain of what to do. Ready to take me to the hospital, I said, grasping for air, "Call my social worker, Amy." Within seconds, Amy recognized my panic attack and talked me down and out of it. Sharsheret, in no uncertain terms, lifted me off the floor. Sharsheret is just a phone call away from anyone who needs support, needs to feel connected, and maybe needs to be lifted off their floors. They are friends, they are incredible at their jobs, and well, they most certainly saved my life.
Wow. There was a moment that you spoke about that was so powerful when you were in recovery, and then there was that moment in the bathroom where you said that you fell to your knees, and I feel like that's such a powerful moment because we can all relate to when we think we're doing okay, and then we have that moment where we break down and we need someone to lift us up, sometimes even literally, but to lift up the heavy weight that we carry around with us. And I know that's what Sharsheret has been for you and for so many people. So we want to dedicate this song of ours called For a Moment to you.
Wake up, open your eyes. The falling sun is on the rise. Look up and realize the sky is endless and there is nothing but this moment. So speak up today these words that have been lying on your heart, and let 'em in and let 'em out, and lift up this heavy weight you have been carrying around, and let go for a moment. and realize the sky is endless and there is nothing but this moment.
Thank you so much, Molly, and distant cousins, for sharing your amazing stories. Why Sharsheret? In honor of women like me, Sari, Molly, and Molly, their friends, partners, parents, children, and caregivers. Why now? Because it's crucial that we keep our Sharsheret, our chain of support, strong. Cancer didn't stop when COVID started, and while we're all challenged in multiple ways by this pandemic, we must recognize the physical and psychological vulnerability of the women and families who we support. Tonight, your support is more important than ever. Please text PICNIC, PICNIC, to 44321. Again, PICNIC to 44321 to make your donation. And now, distant cousins.
Today I'll take my own advice and make the most of it. Too many times my choices have been guided by my fears. Into the dark and unknown water I will sink or swim. Like a blade of grass reaching for the sun, I'm ready to begin. And I keep on climbing up against the wind. Tonight the sky is calling. Are you ready? Are you ready to fly on your own? The streets below are cold and crowded. I ask my way around. The loudest truth I ever heard was the softest sound. When you whisper in my ear, first time I could see, I was looking everywhere. You're right here next to me. And I keep on climbing
Ready, Ami?
Yeah. I've been waking up at sunrise, talking in my sleep. Up and giving it away, and hoping you'll stay and listen for free. Up and up into the night time, staying out late. I've been pushing that girl, cause I know too well there's no reason to procrastinate. On fire, we are but shooting stars, bright for a moment, gone. On fire, your endless energy, I'm gonna feel it forever, forever, forever. I feel it forever, forever, forever. Ooh, I've been drinking with the demons, reminiscing with the ghosts. I keep on ringing those bells, the stories he tells always stops with the part that I love the most. So there's a branch in the family tree, and it's hanging by a thread. You can cut it, you can check it, you can leave it, but it's always gonna follow you there. On fire, we are but shooting stars, bright for a moment, gone. On fire, forever, forever, forever. I feel it forever, forever, forever. I feel it forever, forever, forever. I feel it forever, forever, forever. Woo! Whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, hey, whoa. Maybe we're just dust in space, and maybe we're alone. Or maybe what you give to me is what I give to you, and then we pass it on. Wow! I've been waking up at sunrise, talking in my sleep. I've been giving it away, and hoping you'll stay and listen for free. Listen for Thank you, Sharsheret, for having us. We are distant cousins. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you guys so much. That was incredible. And thank you all for being here with us tonight. Don't worry, there's still time to give your gift, perhaps in honor or memory of someone who you know who's been touched by cancer. I'd like to give a special thanks to our event chair, Kathy Barnhard, and our Community Advisory Committee, not to mention our incredible Sharsheret staff of the California office, Jenna Fields, Jessica Joblin, and Amy Sachs. Remember, tonight we are stronger than ever.
Thank you, Sharsheret.
Thank you, Sharsheret.
Thank you, Sharsheret.
Thank you, Sharsheret.
Thank you, Sharsheret.